It is often said that the most profound questions keep us awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why, despite our best efforts, we still feel a lingering sense of isolation. We have all been there. You navigate the chaotic landscape of modern dating, swiping left and right, hoping for a spark that turns into a flame, but often finding yourself burnt out or, perhaps worse, feeling utterly hollow even when you are sitting right next to someone. It is a specific kind of existential ache. You might be in a relationship, yet you feel miles apart from the person holding your hand. Why does this happen? Why do we, as a species so desperate for connection, seem so ill-equipped to maintain it? There was a sentiment expressed by Sigmund Freud near the end of his life, a confession from the father of psychoanalysis himself, that despite his decades of studying the human mind, he felt we still knew remarkably little about the true nature of love. That statement is haunting, but it is also liberating. If even the experts are humbled by it, then perhaps we can forgive ourselves for stumbling in the dark. Today, we are going to walk through the insights from the seminal work How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You by Leil Lowndes. But we are not just reviewing a book. We are going to deconstruct the very mechanics of attraction and long-term compatibility. This is not about manipulation or pickup lines. It is about understanding the psychology beneath our desires so that whether you are single and searching or married and looking to rekindle a fading light, you can approach love not as a passive victim of fate, but as an architect of your own happiness. Love, as we will discover, is not just a noun, it is a verb. It is an active, living thing that requires skill, not just luck. Let us start by dismantling a myth that Hollywood and pop culture have fed us for decades. You have heard it 1,000 times. Opposites attract. We love the narrative of the brooding, silent artist falling for the high-energy corporate lawyer, or the chaotic free spirit taming the rigid planner. It makes for great cinema, but does it make for a lasting life? The research suggests that while differences might spark initial intrigue, they are rarely the fuel for a long-term fire. Think about it. If you crave deep, philosophical conversations about the universe, and your partner only wants to talk about reality television or the weather, that gap is eventually going to feel like a canyon. If you find peace in hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, and they find peace in a 5-star resort with Wi-Fi, you are not complementing each other. You are living in two different realities. The uncomfortable truth is that we are actually drawn to our reflections. We crave similarity. We want someone who validates our worldview, who understands our references, and who walks at our pace. This creates a concept known as the comfort of sameness. When two people share similar values, similar backgrounds, or even similar levels of energy, the friction of daily life disappears. You do not have to explain why you need quiet time in the morning, or why you feel strongly about political activism, because they just get it. They are cut from the same cloth. So, if you are currently looking for a partner, stop looking for someone to complete you by being your opposite. Look for someone who mirrors your soul. Look for the person who makes the mundane moments feel effortless because you are both operating on the same frequency. However, similarity is just the foundation. To build a house upon it, we have to look at where our ideas of love actually come from. This brings us to the concept of the love map. Whether we realize it or not, we are all walking around with a subconscious blueprint for what a relationship should look like, and this blueprint was drafted in our childhood. We are often looking for a partner who can heal the wounds left by our past, or replicate the comfort we felt at home. This is why you see people repeating the same patterns, dating the same type of person over and over again, expecting a different result. If your parents expressed love through acts of service, fixing the car, cooking dinner, you might grow up believing that love equals doing things. But what if you marry someone whose love language is words of affirmation? You could be scrubbing the floors and paying the bills, exhausting yourself to show you care, while your partner sits there feeling unloved because you have not told them they are beautiful in 3 years. It is like you are handing them an apple because you love apples, but they are starving for an orange. You are giving, but they are not receiving. To truly connect, we have to become students of our partners. We have to study their blueprint. We have to ask the difficult questions about their view of marriage, their fears, and their childhood, not to judge them, but to understand the language they are speaking. This leads us to a fascinating dynamic called the principle of complementarity. While we want similarity in values, we often crave a partner who possesses the strengths we lack. It is a subtle distinction. We do not want someone who opposes us. We want someone who extends us. If you are naturally chaotic and struggle with discipline, you might find yourself deeply attracted to someone who is organized and methodical. You are not looking for an enemy. You are looking for an anchor. You admire their discipline because it is a quality you wish you had. In a healthy relationship, this becomes a beautiful exchange. You help them loosen up and see the colors of the world, and they help you build a structure to house your dreams. You become a team where the sum is greater than the parts. But here is where we have to get brutally honest, and this might be a jagged pill to swallow. We have to talk about the marketplace of love. There is a romantic notion that love is pure, unconditional, and transcends all boundaries. And while that is a beautiful ideal for a parent and child, romantic love between adults often operates on a principle of equity. It is an exchange. You might recoil at the idea of love being a transaction, but bear with me. We are constantly, subconsciously evaluating equity. We ask ourselves, is this person bringing as much to the table as I am? This does not just mean money. In fact, money is often the least important currency. We trade in looks, intelligence, status, kindness, humor, and emotional stability. If one person feels they are overpaying, giving more value than they are receiving, resentment builds. If one person feels they are underpaying, insecurity breeds. They become terrified that their partner will realize they can do better. The most stable relationships are those where both partners feel they got a good deal. They feel that their combined assets, their looks, their minds, their souls balance out. This brings us to a critical realization about self-improvement. If you feel like you are not attracting the caliber of person you desire, or if you feel insecure in your current relationship, the answer is not to play games or manipulate. The answer is to raise your value. Now, when I say raise your value, I am not talking about getting plastic surgery or buying a luxury car to impress strangers on the internet. I am talking about the intangible assets that radiate from within. Confidence, for instance, is one of the highest value currencies in the dating market. There was a fascinating social experiment conducted where researchers took 2 women of equal physical attractiveness. They placed them by the side of a broken-down car on a busy highway to see who could get help faster. The first woman was instructed to stand tall, chest open, head high, and look directly at the oncoming traffic with a warm, confident smile. The second woman was told to slump her shoulders, look down, and appear timid. The result was instantaneous. Cars slammed on their brakes for the confident woman. She commanded attention not just with her face, but with her energy. The timid woman was largely ignored. This teaches us something profound. You can have the same physical hardware as someone else, but if your software, your belief in yourself is glitchy, the world will treat you accordingly. It is about the signal you are broadcasting. If you walk into a room apologizing for your existence, people will treat you like an inconvenience. But if you walk in with the quiet assurance that you have something to offer, the universe tends to bend in your direction. We often think we need to be richer or better looking to find love. But the book suggests that expanding your mind is just as powerful. Read more books. Learn a new skill. Become a person who is interesting to talk to. When you increase your knowledge and your competence, you are literally increasing your market value. You become a deeper ocean for someone to explore. So, as we close this first chapter of our deep dive, I want you to sit with this thought. Love is not something you fall into. It is something you climb toward. It requires you to know yourself, to respect the balance of exchange, and to constantly refine who you are. We have only just scratched the surface. In the next part, we are going to go even deeper. We are going to look at the specific, tactical behaviors, the subtle psychological triggers that can accelerate intimacy and make you unforgettable in someone's eyes. We will discuss the power of the echo and how your eyes can speak a language louder than your voice. We have explored the architecture of compatibility and the myth that opposites attract. Now, we are standing at the threshold of a new chapter. Suppose you have found someone who piques your interest. Maybe you have just started dating, or perhaps you are in that delicate, exhilarating talking stage, where every text message feels high stakes. The question shifts from, how do I find the right person, to how do I deepen this connection without scaring them away? How do we move from being two strangers sharing a coffee to two souls sharing a wavelength? The book introduces a concept that is as simple as it is devastatingly effective. It is called the echo. To understand this, let me paint you a picture of a conversation that happens every day in every coffee shop across America. Let us imagine a woman named Maya. Maya is a passionate photographer. When she talks about her work, she does not just say she takes pictures. She talks about capturing the light, framing the narrative, and freezing a fleeting emotion. Now, imagine she is on a date with a guy named Ethan. Ethan is a nice guy. He means well. He listens to Maya speak passionately about her latest project, and when she finishes, he nods enthusiastically and says, "That is awesome. I bet you take really great pics with your camera." In that split second, the energy in the room dies. You can almost hear the air hissing out of the balloon. Ethan thinks he was being supportive. He complimented her, right. But to Maya, he just minimized her art. He translated her narrative into pics. He reduced her passion to a hobby. He proved, in one sentence, that he does not speak her language. This is where the concept of the echo comes in. We all have a specific dialect that we use to describe the things we love. A gamer does not just play video games. They grind for loot or rank up. A fitness enthusiast does not just exercise. They hit their macros or chase the pump. When you enter someone's world, you must respect their vocabulary. If Ethan had used the echo technique, he would have listened for Maya's keywords. He would have responded, "I love how you talk about capturing the narrative. What draws you to a specific frame?" By simply using her words, narrative, and frame, he signals to her subconscious, "I am like you. I understand you. I am safe." It creates an instant sense of kinship. It turns you and me into us. This is not about being fake. It is about empathy. It is about caring enough to step out of your own linguistic bubble and step into theirs. Now, let us pivot to those of you who are currently single, roaming the wild plains of modern dating, wondering how to even get to that first conversation. Before you can use the echo, you have to get them to stop and look at you. We have to talk about the visual gateway. Your first impression. I know. We live in an era where we preach that looks do not matter, and it is what is on the inside that counts. And while that is spiritually true, biologically, we are visual creatures. The book brings up a point that might make you cringe with recognition. Think about how you dress when you go to a friend's wedding or a Friday night mixer. You are sharp, groomed, smelling like expensive sandalwood or vanilla. You are projecting your best self. But now, think about how you look when you make a quick run to the grocery store on a Sunday morning to buy almond milk, or when you walk the dog around the block at 6 a.m. Sweatpants, stained hoodie, hair looking like a bird's nest. We treat these moments as off-duty time. We think, I am just running an errand. Nobody is going to see me. Here is the cold, hard statistic. Sociologists and researchers have found that your future partner likely lives, works, or hangs out within a 5-block radius of where you already spend your time. The love of your life is not necessarily on a dating app. They are in line behind you at the post office. They are on the treadmill next to you at the gym. They are grabbing a latte at your local cafe. When you go out into the world looking like you just rolled out of bed, you are telling the universe, I am closed for business. You are telling potential partners that you do not value yourself enough to present well. The author is not suggesting you wear a tuxedo to walk the dog or a ball gown to buy eggs. That would be absurd. But there is a concept called casual elegance. It is about being clean, being put together, and showing up to your own life with intention. When you respect yourself enough to groom and dress well, even for the mundane tasks, you radiate a different frequency. You walk differently. And that confidence, that is a magnet. So, you have fixed your presentation, and you have mastered the art of listening for their vocabulary. Now, we dive into the biology of attraction itself. What is the single most attractive physical trait you can display? Is it a chiseled jawline? Is it a perfect hourglass figure? Is it broad shoulders? The answer might surprise you. It is your pupils. Years ago, psychologists conducted a fascinating experiment. They showed a group of men 2 identical photographs of a woman. The photos were exactly the same face, same hair, same lighting, except for one tiny, photoshopped detail. In one photo, the woman's pupils were normal size. In the other, her pupils were slightly dilated, made larger. When asked to choose the more attractive woman, the men overwhelmingly chose the photo with the dilated pupils. Here is the kicker. They could not explain why. They just said she looked softer, warmer, or more feminine. They did not consciously notice the eyes, but their reptilian brain did. Why does this happen? In the animal kingdom and in humans, our pupils dilate for 2 main reasons: when we are in low light and when we are looking at something we love or desire. When you look at a delicious meal, your pupils dilate. When you look at a pile of cash, your pupils dilate. And when you look at someone you are attracted to, your pupils expand like black moons. Subconsciously, we are programmed to look for this signal in others. When we see someone with dilated pupils looking at us, our brain interprets it as, they like me. And because human beings are reciprocal creatures, our immediate reaction to knowing someone likes us is to like them back. It is a biological feedback loop of affection. So, how do you hack this biology? You cannot manually control your pupils. It is an involuntary response. But you can control what you focus on. The book suggests a technique to induce this look of love. When you are talking to someone you are interested in, do not just look at them generally. Focus on the specific feature of their face that you genuinely find beautiful. Maybe it is the way their eyes crinkle when they smile. Maybe it is the curve of their jaw or a freckle on their cheek. Find that one detail that makes your heart skip a beat and pour your focus into it. Let yourself feel the appreciation for that detail. As you focus on what you like, your brain will release dopamine and your pupils will naturally dilate. You will project that soft, warm look that is universally irresistible. It sounds almost like magic, but it is just biology. You are using the body's natural signals to communicate interest without saying a word. And the best part, it makes the other person feel truly seen. In a world where everyone is looking at their phones, having someone look at you with genuine, dilated, intense interest is a rare and intoxicating drug. But looking is only half the battle. Once you have locked eyes, how do you hold them? How do you use your gaze not just to attract, but to hook? There is a specific timing to eye contact that separates the casual acquaintance from the potential lover. It is a technique called the lingering gaze, and it acts like a hook in the soul. Most people break eye contact the second a sentence ends. It is a social reflex. But if you want to create a spark, you have to break that rhythm. We are going to explore exactly how to execute that lingering gaze in the final part of our journey. We will also cover the ultimate secret of long-term devotion and how to ensure that once you have captured their heart, you never, ever lose it. We left off hanging on a moment of silence, that split second after a sentence ends. This is where the magic happens. In the realm of social dynamics, there is a powerful tool known as the sticky gaze, or as our book describes it, the look that lingers. Think about the last time you had a truly gripping conversation. When the other person finished speaking, did you immediately dart your eyes away to check your phone or look at the waiter? Probably not. If you were entranced, your eyes stayed fixed on them, drinking in their expression, even as the silence settled between you. Most of us, out of nervousness or social conditioning, break eye contact the moment we stop talking. We treat eye contact like a hot potato. We hold it only as long as necessary. But if you want to trigger a deep, primal sense of connection, you must resist that urge. When the person you are interested in finishes their sentence, do not look away immediately. Hold your gaze for just 3 to 4 seconds longer than feels natural. It sounds like a small thing, a matter of mere seconds, but the psychological impact is seismic. By holding that gaze, you are sending a silent signal that says, I am not just listening to your words, I am listening to you. You are telling them that their presence is captivating enough to hold your attention even in the absence of sound. In a world of fractured attention spans, this kind of focused intensity is incredibly rare. It makes the other person feel like the only person in the room. It creates a bubble of intimacy that blocks out the noise of the outside world. However, a word of caution. This is a potent spice, so use it sparingly. If you stare unblinkingly for too long, you cross the line from romantic to creepy. The key is the slow release. After those 3 or 4 seconds, do not jerk your head away. Slide your gaze away slowly, reluctantly, as if you are tearing yourself away from a beautiful view. This visual drag leaves the other person feeling desired and interesting. It is a subtle art, but once you master it, you will find that people are inexplicably drawn to you. They will feel heard, seen, and valued in a way they cannot quite articulate. Now, let us zoom out. We have covered the initial attraction, the conversation, and the non-verbal cues. But what happens after the spark catches fire? What happens when the honeymoon phase fades, the dopamine rush settles, and you are left with the reality of building a life with another human being? This is where many relationships hit a wall. We often view love as a destination, a mountain peak we climb. And once we plant our flag, we think the work is done. We sit down, relax, and expect the view to sustain us forever. But the brutal truth and the core message of this book is that love is not a mountain. It is a garden. It is a living, breathing ecosystem that requires constant tending. If you stop watering it, if you stop pulling the weeds, it will wither. This brings us back to the controversial idea of market value in relationships. It is a concept that makes many of us uncomfortable because we want to believe love is unconditional. We want to believe that once someone loves us, they should love us forever, no matter what we do or how we change. While that is a comforting thought, it is also a dangerous complacency. The most successful, long-lasting couples understand that they must continuously re-earn each other. This does not mean you have to live in fear of being replaced. It means you should live with the ambition of being irreplaceable. The book suggests that the healthiest relationships are those where both partners are committed to their own personal growth. They are constantly updating their software. Imagine you fall in love with someone because they are ambitious, fit, and curious about the world. 10 years later, if that person has let their health collapse, lost their curiosity, and given up on their dreams, the dynamic of the relationship has fundamentally shifted. The value they bring to the partnership has changed. This is not about being shallow. It is about respect. It is about saying, I love you enough to bring my best self to this relationship every single day. So, how do we keep the value high? It is not just about staying physically attractive, though taking care of your health is a form of self-respect that radiates outward. It is also about intellectual and emotional expansion. Read books, listen to podcasts, pick up a new hobby, learn a language. When you grow as an individual, you bring new energy back into the relationship. You become a fresh mystery to your partner. You give them new things to discover about you. If you both commit to this path of self-improvement, the relationship becomes an engine for mutual evolution. You are not just growing old together, you are growing up together. You are climbing parallel ladders, constantly reaching down to pull the other person up, constantly inspiring each other to reach the next rung. This is the antidote to the boredom and resentment that kills so many marriages. When you are with someone who inspires you to be better, the relationship never gets stale because you are never the same people for long. You are constantly reinventing yourselves and your love. Ultimately, the book leaves us with a profound realization. We spend so much time worrying about finding the right person, but the secret lies in becoming the right person. The techniques we have discussed, the echo, the confident body language, the lingering gaze are powerful tools, yes, but they are just the packaging. The product is you. If you are hollow inside, if you are looking for someone else to fill your voids and fix your insecurities, no amount of psychological tricks will save you. You will eventually be found out. But if you do the work to build a life you are proud of, if you cultivate a mind that is interesting and a heart that is kind, you become a magnet. You won't have to chase love. Love will seek you out. So, as we close this conversation, I want you to look at your own life. Stop looking at your phone, stop looking at the dating apps, and look in the mirror. Ask yourself the hard questions. Are you the kind of person you would want to date? Are you bringing value to the table, or are you just looking to take? Love is not a passive event. It is an active, daily choice. It is the choice to listen when you are tired. It is the choice to dress up for your partner even when you are staying in. It is the choice to read that extra chapter so you have something interesting to share at dinner. It is the choice to look them in the eye and let them know, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are seen. We are all just travelers looking for a place to rest our heads. We are all looking for that one person who understands our internal language. But to find that home in another person, you must first build a home within yourself. Be the flame, not the moth. Burn bright with your own passion, your own curiosity, and your own self-worth. And I promise you, the right ones, the ones who deserve your light, will come out of the darkness to sit by your fire. Now, I want to hear from you. We have talked about a lot of strategies today, from the echo technique to the sticky gaze. Which one of these resonates with you the most? Or, be honest with me, do you believe that love should be unconditional? Or do you agree that we need to constantly earn our place in a relationship? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's turn this monologue into a conversation. I read every single one of your stories, and I cannot wait to see what you have to say. Until next time, keep growing, keep listening, and keep your heart open.